And joining me now from Brisbane is former Commando Major Heston Russell, who served in Afghanistan and has since used his own experience of trauma to help other veterans. Heston, welcome back. Great to have you aboard. And if I'm not mistaken, you marked Remembrance Day at Currumbin yesterday with some other veterans.
Yeah, g'day Catherine. Thank you for your service and thank you for having me on. And it was great. I got to the Currumbin RSL, who did a great job of getting
Wonderful.
Veterans of all age groups and demographics together.
It's a beautiful setting. They do a great Anzac Day there with the boards out on the water and so on. But Heston, tell me how you're plugged in with the veterans of our recent conflicts, and you've got a very large organisation, your own ex-service organisation. Harry Moffat predicted that the period between September 11 and November 11 might prove especially challenging. Has that been your experience?
Catherine, to be honest, it's been a little bit quiet on the veteran front. There's been a lot going on in the background with regards to this Royal Commission and a lot of people, particularly with my organisation, Veteran Support Force, getting their submissions ready, and we've had our volunteers helping there. But there's been a lot actually in the veteran space from other ex-service organisations getting together, and Veterans Health Week was a really great example of all these smaller ex-service organisations doing more of what our community and our Australian community needs at large, in getting people together for those community engagement activities, getting together and having sporting and fitness workouts and just connecting and really coming out of this isolation and uncertainty and getting that human resolution at the lowest level. But it's been okay. It's been quiet. There's been a few people that have had still some ongoing troubles, as we've spoken about. The questions continue to get asked, was it worth it? But also in the background, we've got this Senate committee inquiry going on to looking into exactly that, Australia's contribution to Afghanistan. So there should be some more good things coming out of that.
And I looked at the formal Department of Defence ADF submission. Did you find it a bit light on, given what has been said about your community and Special Forces particularly, who did all the heavy lifting and bore the brunt of the fighting? And that was an insultingly weak strategic assessment, I thought.
Well, this is the issue, Catherine, and linking it into Remembrance Day, it's great that we all get together and pause and remember and reflect, but it seems all too easy these days that that's just a box-ticking lip service event and people readily move on and forget, because it's actions here and now today that help to actually constitute the memory and the respect and gratify all those hard-working efforts that were more than just simply those we lost during those operations, but were those who put in, all of their lives and efforts and loved that job and what we did. And I go before the Senate on Monday to provide. I provided a personal submission with Veteran Support Force and my own, having been there 4 times. And my hope is that there's actually accountability, Catherine, because you'd know better than anyone. We keep having these committees, we keep having these conversations, but until accountability is laid, we start to further lose trust in systems that's yet to provide any confidence otherwise.
I couldn't agree more, Heston, and having been in the headquarters at the time, there was no plan. The only mission objective I ever heard outlined at a 3-star level was to have our flag alongside the Americans. Yet you and some of your men who you saw die there were fulfilling that part of the contract. So I look forward to your Senate submission. If there were 3 things that you could take out of this Royal Commission, if you had the purple marker and were leaning over Commissioner Caldis's shoulder, what 3 things would you want to see happen, Heston, to improve the lot of veterans?
Absolutely. I mean, the complete restructure of the Department of Veterans Affairs, Catherine, but first and foremost, the focus is on providing veterans with care. And you've heard me talking about the immediate qualification for the Gold Card to provide medical and dental access to all veterans who have served, to provide that peace of mind and provide them with assistance in that soft landing on the way out. Secondly, we have to bring in regulation to the ex-service organisations. At the moment, the space is so cluttered and is so lacking from ground-up review and assessment. I think we actually need to get the Department of Defence on board to actually reinvest and for government funding to be attributed towards associations that parallel not only units but corps to provide that direct integration of former serving and current serving, and also to provide all that support from transition through to relocation that is currently being gap-filled by too many ex-service organisations. And then finally, Catherine, it's transition. We've stepped up this Joint Transition Authority, and back in my day running the Commando Selection Course, you need to dovetail those coming in with the systems and processes screening those going out. And having defence recruitment over here, which is primarily contractor based, and then this new joint transition over here, we're actually dealing with transition in general, transitioning into our service and transitioning out of our service. And in my opinion, they needed to be brigaded together to close off that learning loop. Why are we losing people? Where are they going? What are they doing? Therefore, what are the people we need coming in? What are the people coming in? Therefore, what are going out? And how we re-recruit people back into our capability, because we haven't learned anything from Afghanistan. We're losing more of our seasoned veterans because they're being pulled doing COVID response duties and not being employed to be able to train and condition themselves to do their primary role. And we're going to need them in the future more than ever. And like myself and so many other veterans even spoke about this yesterday, trying to get back into the Defence Force and trying to be tracked back into the Defence Force is one of the weakest capabilities at the moment. And we need to professionalise that and better identify that capability we have and we need to call on when our nation needs it.
Could not agree more. And every one of those three priorities I absolutely echo. I think you've nailed it. Heston, just to take us out, you're engaged in trying to get some kind of explanation or apology from the ABC over coverage of one action in which you're engaged. Quickly, just tell us what response you're getting and what your grievance is about the way November Platoon's operation was covered.
Absolutely. Thanks, Catherine. And for those who want to see, you can go to vsf.org.au/accountability and it's all there. But the quick down and dirty was October last year, on the anniversary of Scott Smith's death from November Platoon. The ABC, and particularly the reporters Mark Willesee, Dan Oakes and Alexandra Blutcher, published an article whereby they simply took the ear witness account of a single US Marine air crewman who at a few thousand feet in the air heard a pop on the radio and therefore made the statement 8 years later that November Platoon had therefore executed a bound prisoner that we had. So we've written a 10-page letter to the ABC, line for line, going through how impossible, let alone improbable, that is, and simply asked for a review. And I've now written to the board of the ABC and the managing director of the ABC, asking for an independent review to be commissioned and for an apology to be written, because this, as you very well know, impacts on the legacy of our veterans. And when we go and lay wreaths on Remembrance Day, we need to do more than just remember. We need to take action to ensure that memory is first and foremost accurate and therefore best supports our veterans and our families now and long after we are gone.